Dear Shrestha viewers, welcome. In the last class, we have seen the types of factoring services. Yes, in this class, we are going to wind up the non-conventional sources of finance by discussing this pros and cons of factoring services. We are going to close the chapter. So let's quickly go into this topic now. Pros and cons. In every topic that we have discussed till now, if we observe the pros and cons, both were at an equal level. If there are 5 pros, there are also 5 cons. But in this particular area, we have many pros, but whereas only 3 cons. That shows the system is very efficient. Okay, so let us see how efficient is the system by knowing its pros and why is it running slow by knowing the cons. Okay, increase the scope of operating leverage. By adopting the system, it gives a good scope for this operating leverage. Operating leverage is like leverages. We have seen this term called operating and leverage in the last classes in that lease. So operating is like in that lease it is called, it is has a particular period but it can be cancelable and all. We heard that term operating and leverage. Leverage is something like a high term and where it involves a high capital, like high investments and all, it involves many parties. So that kind of system that will have a scope by this adopting this particular factoring services. That I am not mean to say that that is the same thing, but this is a system will have a scope because of adopting this factoring system. I just gave you an idea to get that point into your mind. Okay, provides improved return. Whenever someone tells you that you will have an instant results and you'll get good high rating about profits and all, will you stay simply? You'll obviously adopt that system and you're so excited to get your profits. Yes or no? So even the firms are attracted to adopt this particular system to get, in order to get improved returns or high returns. That is what is called as provides improved returns. And then the third part is improves firms liquidity. What do you mean by this term liquidity? Liquidity is like it is a capacity to change any asset into amount quickly. That is the capacity. So now this improves firm liquidity means it can convert easily the firm's liquidity and like it gets a lot amount of cash flows, accelerates the cash flows, which also helps us in working capital management. That will help us a firm to clear the day-to-day transactions and helps in meeting the liabilities quickly, because all this because of adopting this method will have a clear cut information about everything, and as I told you, liquidity and this working capital transactions also will in the better manner. So as we have the continuous cash flows, this meeting liquidity or liabilities quickly will help us fast to clear all these liabilities, and provides insurance for bad debts. Like whenever you find, you feel that you have a threat to your company by fire or any kind of problems or threats, you insure your company, right? In the same way, bad debts is also loss for the company. So if they are not going to come back, so even you have an insurance for bad debts. By having that insurance for bad debts, you can clear all your amount of credits and bad debts by using that insurance amount. That is one of the best advantage given by the factoring services. And then the last one is prevents delay and wastage of time, where we waste a lot of time or delay the time when we are in the confusion to make a particular decision. So that is not a problem with factoring services, because it will have a continuous flow of information which will help the management in making a quick decision about the firm, and that avoids the wastage of time. That is the 6 advantages. Increases the scope of operating leverage, provides improved returns, improves the firm's liquidity and helps in meeting the liabilities quickly, provides insurance for bad debts and prevents delays and wastage of time. Isn't it interesting? we have many advantages and we have only 3 disadvantages. By changing slightly them, even we can turn it as advantages. What are they? Indicates management inefficiency. So when you adopt this system, it shows like your management inefficiency will be proved. That is one of the major bad factor, because you know what is the function of the company? Collecting the debts and maintenance of accounts to avoid the credit risk. It means that it involves risk, and collection of the debts, it means that they won't pay the risk or they escape to pay the debts. That is not a good sign, right? So we take the steps, but that shows the inefficiency. So that is one of the bad factor. And redundant. So if it is a nationwide company, then this kind of factoring services is not that good to that kind of companies, because functions of the factoring services are like maintenance of accounts. Obviously everyone will maintain the accounts, but collection of debts and maintaining the credit, like protection against credit risk and all this kind of services, to do it nationwide. We don't know how many other people who are not paying the debts, so we have to allot every people each and every day, and we have to control this risk. That is really burden to everybody. So that is one of the disadvantage. And then difficulty in evaluating the clients. Clients are always not the same people, right? In this business world, we deal with different type of attitudes and mentalities of different people, of different mentalities. We deal with thousands and lakhs of people every day. So to evaluate a client or to make them free financially, or like to deal with them in financial way, it is really difficult. Okay, so those are the disadvantages. Indicates a management inefficiency, redundant, and difficulty in evaluating the client. But whereas the advantages are increases the scope of operating leverage, provides the improved returns, improves the firm's liquidity, helps in meeting the credit or liabilities quickly, sorry. It provides the insurance for bad debts, prevents the delay or wastage of time. These are the advantages and disadvantages of factoring services. By this, we have came to end of vast topic, as I told, that is non-conventional sources of finance. I hope it is clear. We are done with the whole topic of non-conventional sources of energy and also completed the business part of BEFA. Next we are moving into economics from next coming classes. I hope you like this video. If I made it relevant, kindly like, share, subscribe my channel. Thank you.